Today we need to talk about RM speaking very candidly about the future of BTS. We also need to get into why some people are saying RM posted a picture of a lover and who she really is, and then we have RM trending over a new song and collaboration with a female artist. So hey dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumpling, taste milling mug merch, and let's go. The first thing that we need to talk about today is RM and a special girl trending. I am talking about, of course, RM and Soyoon's new single, Smoke Sprite. This single will be released at 6 p.m. Korean Standard Time on March 14th. This teaser is only 10 seconds, but you can already tell the music video might have a lot going on and definitely a really great story to watch. You see archery and Soyoon dressed in armor. There's just a lot going on, and the background you even hear a male singer sing. I don't think this is RM, but if RM was singing on the track, that would be awesome too. I will be reacting to the song and music video over on Patreon. I react to a lot of BTS, Stray Kids, ATEEZ, and many more K-pop music videos on Patreon. So if you do want to fangirl and react to them with me, I will link the Patreon in the description. We have a $1 tier with some limited spots open if you're interested. Of course, after the release of Indigo and some of the press for Indigo, most people assumed that RM would be just heading directly to the military. But he did do a lot of really cool press for it, and then I guess he decided that he wanted to do some collaborations before he left. RM might be next to go to the military, so we can also expect that there might be a trend where each member will decide to release a solo song to say goodbye, similar to J-Hope and Jin. But as of right now, Smoke Sprite is not RM's song, so this is not his goodbye yet. A little backstory about the song Smoke Sprite: the song was co-written by RM as well, and the two met organically and loved listening to each other's songs. Apparently, the two exchanged a lot of emails with each other over the years, and I'm sure we can even expect dating rumors to come out of this eventually, since every girl that BTS members come near is apparently their lover. But it was very interesting to hear Soyoon talk so highly over RM and their time together. Soyoon also talked about how much fun writing the chorus of the song was, and I'm sure that the chorus probably sounds so catchy. I'm very curious to know what the song sounds like, and I am sure there's a lot of anticipation for this song. RM with Soyoon were of course trending on social media, and the idea of the new song is very much anticipated now. People have been taking the music video shot by shot and tried to see if there's anything cool to talk about, and they even found photos of RM holding what appeared to be arrows. And we can even assume that this will be very cinematic. At this point, I really don't care if there are dating rumors between the two. Not that I've seen any right now, but if there was, because as long as it brings press to the song and builds it up more, I really don't care. It would be so cool to see RM in this light and in a more cinematic light. It could also open the doors for RM to do movies and film one day. Of course, there's a lot of conversation about RM and what he has been up to since Indigo was released. There recently was an interview that shocked everyone, and RM talked about the future of BTS. A little backstory on RM is that he is extremely realistic. He doesn't tend to sugarcoat things and is very real with what he talks about. I mean that in a way where he doesn't pretend something isn't happening. He was very open about the idea of a hiatus, and he even knew that it would get backlash, but he decided to talk about it anyway. That is definitely being realistic, even though it could hurt them. Since apparently the HYBE stock did go down, it did seem to hurt them at least a little bit. During a Spanish news outlet called EFE, RM talked about traveling to Spain to find inspiration for his new album. RM talked about how he would actually love to collaborate with a Spanish artist named Rosalia, and I love that RM went to a new place to find inspiration and found new artists in that area that may be less familiar to us in America. In creating art, it's almost super important, and honestly what we consider innovative, to take something that has worked well in another area and use that in the art that will be shown in a different area. It brings that genre and style of that genre over to a new area and finds a new audience that is going to be inspired by the work of another genre. So not only is it important to consume content and culture from another area, but it's important to understand it and even do what RM did and go over there. He likely stayed there a little bit and tried to embrace himself into it. If you tend to find yourself stuck, not only creatively, but just stuck in passion, love, or your world just seems to be a bit more dull, you can find inspiration and love in another place. And that could be a sign that you need to get out there and try something new. RM is very much obsessed with art, and a big part of art is trying to discover things that are different to you. So I loved this interview. What was also interesting about this interview is when RM shared his feelings about BTS's break and what the future of BTS will be. He said that when you're famous, remaining famous and successful is very difficult. No one remains at the same level of fame and success for their entire life. It's just simply not possible. Pop culture and fame is often meant for the young. Of course, there's plenty of famous older people, but they definitely don't have the same chokehold on pop culture as maybe they did when they were younger. People lose interest and they move on to the new shiny thing. And this is why most artists' goal is not fame, because that fades. Their goal is just to create and try their best to get their message out there. RM also added that he does think BTS will come together again regardless, because everyone's energy is so good. He also added that nothing lasts forever. People took the nothing lasts forever thing to mean that RM was implying that BTS will not last forever. Headlines ran with that, fans ran with that, but to me it doesn't quite make a lot of sense given the context of what he said prior to that line. RM talked about the energy of BTS being so good and that they love each other. So there's no doubt that the boys will always be making music until they die. He just may be implying that fame and success may not last forever. However, you have artists like the Rolling Stones who are not being covered like crazy lately, but they are still selling out their own shows and killing it. But going back to RM, visiting new places and having fun, RM recently posted more photos from his recent trip and even a photo that ended up shocking armies. RM posted a carousel of images on his Instagram, and the last photo he showed was a photo of him and a girl. The photo was taken from a distance and it was in black and white. A lot of people thought, since it was tucked away in the last photo, that this was RM's way of showing off his girlfriend and who he was with. Because of course, no matter what RM says about this or how he denies this, people still think this would be his girlfriend, that he is lying about it not being. However, my thing is, if it was his girlfriend, he knows what the backlash will be and he knows how the internet will react. I think for him to post it, it definitely must not be. But the internet will still have their opinions. And others think that if BTS ends or BTS is over, it would be because the boys started dating. And that theory makes a lot of sense, because given the landscape of K-pop now and how the boys get hate for even being rumored to date, the only way they would be able to date and settle down is if they were to stop making music or stop being the spotlight. RM even talked a little while ago on a TV show, The Dictionary of Useless Human Knowledge, on how it would not be possible for him to get married or have a family given him in K-pop. Obviously, he doesn't want to quit music, so he just opts for how it might not be possible for him to get married. But people still think he is going to date, as he even has lyrics that imply a relationship or a prior one. In his song Change Part 2, RM's lyrics implied a failed relationship, and even to say that he loved this person. The lyrics implied that they didn't end because he couldn't give more, i.e. give up fame to date her, but it implied that the girl maybe had done something to end the relationship or did not want more. And these lyrics were shocking to ARMY, but of course, naturally, a person in their late 20s would have been in a serious relationship before. Being in a relationship isn't just about sex and the fun stuff of a relationship. It teaches you how to be selfless, how to live with another person, how to think about another person and show their appreciation. So of course, someone on their journey as a human being would have dated to grow. So if the lyrics are true, I'm not surprised. However, I am more inclined to believe that if RM was dating in the Instagram photo, he would not be posting anything about any girl, and that he would be quite quiet about it. On the caption of the carousel, he captioned it with familia, which is obviously Spanish for family. Since the girl is the only person we even see anything of, it would imply that the girl was family. Many people say it's his sister, and that RM was also saying that. It could be his sister. It could be his cousin that he's traveling with. So many theories here. But the fact of the matter is, it's likely not anyone he's dating. But I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on everything that has happened. Do you think RM was talking about how BTS will end soon? How do you feel about the RM and Soyoon song collaboration? And are you excited? And what do you think about RM posting this family member on Instagram? Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks, just leave a comment right here. Love you, bye.